Ian Bourne here from Cloud 2020. I was just taking a few minutes out at the moment to talk about the whole mix, which is about return to work, if that's what actually is going to happen. I was reading some really interesting articles this morning about how there's been a huge change in the number of people that want to go back to work who originally said a few weeks ago they were committed to working from home. I thought it's fascinating that now that the reality is hitting home, that perhaps the lid is coming off, the ability to move is coming out, that people are actually saying, do you know what? I know I said I'd work at home, but you know what? I would actually quite like to work in the office, and I think it's something that we as a business are challenged with at the moment. Some of the team want to go in, some don't. Some want to come in on a part-time basis. Some want to reduce the amount of travel they do anyway, but some want to just get out the house. So I think there's quite a mixed message around there. But this really puts a challenge on employers. So how do you manage that process? Because obviously you don't want to put your team at risk. You want to be able to make sure you offer a nice, safe, comfortable environment where they feel comfortable to come in if they want to, and get the benefits of working with the rest of the team. So we've actually got customers who are going through exactly the same process. So we've been working with one in particular at the moment, and what they came to us with is the exam question: how do we both enable our team to book a site in the office? Now that might be a desk, it might be a shared space in the conference room, but it was, how can they book ahead? Also, how can they book on the day if they want to? But if they book on the day, make sure that there's enough time and notice given to the office team to make sure that space is clear and clean and whatever preparation they need to do before that person comes through the door. But then really importantly, how do you make sure that the fact somebody came in and used a space is recorded both the time they came in and the time they went out? Now, the question is, why is that important? Well, it's important because let's say one of your colleagues then has some symptoms of COVID. You'd want to be able to identify anybody else that could have been in the same space at the same time on the same day, and then invite them to self-isolate until you've got clearance or some tests have been done. So that's really important. So be able to check in and check out, and therefore have a register of all those that have been in the same, shared the same space at the same time and the same day. That was important. The other side of it, really, from a management side, was how do you bring that space up to standard? And for different people with different types of businesses, there are different stages for that. So we had to develop a way of being able to set those stages in. So, you know, were they initial evaluation, were they going to test out phase now, so they could run some tests on how quickly they could clean a space or how well they could manage that. What are the processes to allowing people in and out of a venue without causing choke points and all that kind of good stuff. And then finally, limited access and then full operational access, and also be able to scale back the other way if they needed to. So this is all stuff that employers have not had to do until now. So that's where our return to work app has worked for that. So we also then built in some specific requirements where this particular organisation was asking all their staff to do lateral flow tests the day before they come in. So again, we had to make sure the app contacted everybody that was due to come in the next day and give them a notification, B, an email. So, you know, 2 means of communication to remind them that to use their booking for the next day, they had to conduct a lateral flow test. So an interesting project, really. And in actual fact, not only is it just for now, but this is a project, this is a product that they're going to use for the future, because now, as part of this process, of course, they're actually reevaluating their real estate and how many operational seats they actually need these days. So really interesting. Just to recap, a lot of change going on now as we're starting to open up the ability for people to go back to work on a more regular basis. How do you manage that? How do you establish a safe environment? How do you monitor? That's an important point actually as well. We enable people to register how they felt, their sentiment about going into a particular office. So you could monitor how comfortable people felt about it. And if it wasn't comfortable, question, why not? Well, we weren't happy with the cleaning or whatever. So something you could actively work on to raise that sentiment. So, like I say, people be able to check in, be able to confirm they got the ability to go in, that, and also going in knowing that they had met all the requirements as an individual before they went in, testing and temperature and all that kind of good stuff, but also that the building itself had been prepared prior to their coming in. Really interesting times, and as I say, an interesting challenge to work on for the team to bring that whole app and environment together. Any questions on that, give us a shout. But is it, yeah, any further information, or if you want to talk through your particular environment, give us a call.